we went from this to this. There's this little thing called nanotechnology, and that's pretty much the entire reason why superheroes these days, mostly MCU heroes to be honest, are able to conjure their suits and equipment with relative ease. The issue though isn't really nanotech, or whatever the magic word is that allows suits to appear and disappear in the blink of an eye, it's how often they're used, and how it actually prevents interesting external conflict to occur. So welcome back to another Browntable video essay. It's me, Mauricio, the guy that ruins the internet with MCU nitpicks. You know those complaints about how Spider-Man CG in Homecoming was bad, or how wrinkles make a suit look more real? Yeah, that was me. Have you ever heard of the term overdesign? Yeah, that was also me. If it sounds like I'm hyping myself up and I have a very big ego, it's because I am and I do. And that's why I'm back again to talk about another issue I have with the MCU, yet another nitpick. And I really like this one. Yet again, it's not something that ruins movies. This time, it's something that I feel is much more interesting. And that is, please, bring back real helmets. Please stop using Nanotech.
Hi, I'm Scott.
Did he just say, hi, I'm Scott?
Let me just say though, this isn't inherently a bad thing. I've seen Nanotech be used in the MCU well. The movies that use them well was Infinity War and Endgame, surprise surprise. The reason why is because yes, it's lame to just have shit appear and disappear, but nanotech isn't something that grows on trees. And during the fight between Iron Man and Thanos, Thanos keeps breaking off Iron Man's armor, and so the suit has to prioritize where it forms, to the point that Thanos can actually stab Tony freely because so much of the nanotech is spread out and is covering other parts of his body. Now that's cool. And of course in Endgame when Tony switches out the stones. But those are literally the only times I've really seen it used effectively. I'm gonna talk about smaller issues first before the biggest issue, and that's gonna be like the climax of the video. For the most part, nanotech is used to allow characters to remove their masks or helmets. And an excuse that's given is that it's so we can see the actor's face, and so they can, well, act, emote and whatnot. It's the modern version of Spider-Man taking off his mask every movie so we can see the actor underneath. But Spider-Man's mask getting shredded or Spider-Man taking off his mask often came with a price. It can be battle damage so we can see the actor's face, or him removing the mask can lead to new emotional conflict. The issue the MCU has is the lack of secret identities. So a superhero taking off their helmet or mask means nothing really most of the time, story-wise. So they can take shit off and put shit on, no big deal, but the thing is that removing the process of suiting up from suiting up impedes the creation of interesting stories. Real quick side note, I would actually have no problem with superheroes just kind of nanoteching up out of nowhere like in an instant if they had transformation sequences. Like if an MCU character had to transform, I want to see a magical girl transformation sequence. I want this to be Sailor Moon, because if not, then it's super fucking boring. In the new Ant-Man movie, you just press a button on their chest, and the suit appears in literally a second. That's so boring! Why? Iron Man had it, Black Panther has it, Thor has it, Spider-Man had it, Ant-Man has it now. It's like, whoa.
Daddy, chill.
And it sucks because a lot of these characters are characters where it would make sense for these suits to appear out of nowhere. Like Black Panther, that's a thing he does in the comics. But because it's so prevalent and because it's used as a crutch for characters to just suit up and be ready to fight, it gets very monotonous. At the end of the day, what's gonna be cooler? Black Panther's suit just kind of appearing, or T'Challa literally taking his helmet off and revealing his face? It's the latter. This is way cooler. Now remember the Iron Man trilogy? The first movie had Tony struggle to get out of his suits constantly. That was a whole ordeal.
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
Are those bullet holes?
The final fight has Iron Man struggle to fight Ironmonger because not only is he low on power, but he started stripping off his suit. He's got no repulsor on his hand now. In Iron Man 2, he had to bide time for Pepper to arrive to be able to suit up, and the MCU has not topped this suit up scene since. It almost did in Iron Man 3. The armor flew and attached to him, and that shit on its own created the concept of armor hopping and removing pieces of armor during a fight, and that was dope as hell. Stuff like this is possible when suits don't just appear out of nowhere. But I'm sure you're wondering, when did nanotech become a thing? You might be surprised. I feel like a lot of people blame Infinity War. Trust me when I tell you, it didn't start with Iron Man. While you're here, put it on your to-do list to make sure to check out Interstellar Ranger Commence. It's an animated series the channel's making. And remember to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the video. So, the first time we get a suit just kind of appearing is in Thor. And there it makes sense the suit will appear and disappear when it's summoned. Helmets were physical things to be removed, not something that can just magically apparate like in Love and Thunder. Then you skip Captain America and then we reach the Avengers, and then it goes to Loki. Loki's suit pretty much just slowly appears on him, but again, he's the master of illusion. It's cool, it fits. The idea of suits appearing is a thing in Phase 1, but the nanotech effect isn't a thing until Phase 2. Do you want to know which movie it is? I'll give you a hint. Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka, ooga, ooga. Yeah, when the MCU went cosmic, nanotech became a thing. And it's cool, it's a sci-fi thing. It's gonna be for the sci-fi characters. But the issue is, the MCU is becoming more and more cosmic. And so now everyone is getting magically disappearing suits. And worse, because I guess the Earth can't stay behind in like technology or whatever, now people of Earth have magically disappearing suits too. Fucking everybody has magically disappearing suits. So now that we understand when nanotech emerged in the MCU, the problem appears. It's not often used as a story beat like Infinity War. And sure, then comes the argument that it's to allow actors to emote in scenes. But that's also kind of insulting, because acting doesn't only require the face. I remember seeing this on Twitter. I can't remember who said this, but whoever did, they're a genius. The MCU actually crafted a whole new camera angle to show a character's face when it's hidden behind a helmet. And this angle has been used time and time again by not only MCU movies, but other films. Now that's innovation. Main thing, surprise, actors can act with helmets on. We all know The Mandalorian, a massively popular show where the titular hero has a helmet on for pretty much the whole thing. Pedro Pascal acts the hell out of it, my guy. What works here is that we as people can attach ourselves to things. It's a little thing I like to call empathy.
I can pick up this pencil, tell you its name is Steve, and go like this.
Oh.
And part of you dies.
We have the body movement, we have the voice acting, and with the help of direction and music, we're able to interpret the emotions behind the mask.
No living thing has seen me without my helmet since I swore the creed.
In the movie Jaws, there is a shark, and we don't really see much of it, and that creates suspense. So our brain fills in the gaps. What is this shark gonna look like? And it freaks us out. Not knowing can actually amplify an experience.
I am not leaving you here.
John.
Master Chief is not only a dope-ass character, he's a dope-ass character with a helmet on pretty much all the time. It allows the player to further invest themselves in the character. We don't see what he looks like for the most part, therefore he acts almost like the player's avatar. The player can insert themselves into this hero in a way that goes past just playing as them. And then this becomes just an issue of how movies and shows just really love taking the helmets and masks off of hero characters. The issue is particularly embodied in the live-action Halo show. Oh fuck. Every episode after the first one, oh my god man, dude has it off so often. Forgetting the fact that the people that made the show just don't give a fuck about Halo in my opinion, they are fundamentally missing the point of a masked character. And last but not least, the Batman. Robert Pattinson basically has to act with only his eyes. Matt Reeves actually took away that permanent scowl that Batman masks always have, so Robert Pattinson had to act the hell out of that movie, and he's in the Batman suit for the majority of the movie. So yeah, just using the eyes, just using the mouth like Judge Dredd, or just using body language. Actors can act without having to use their face. It's fine. Going back to the MCU, it's so popular, of course, that everyone knows the concept of nanotech now. So much so that I remember when Black Adam came out and Hawkman had his nth metal helmet disappear or had his weapons transform, people were like, oh my god, not another person with nanotech. But that's from the comics. That's a thing. But I also get the complaint, because it's everywhere. So it's reached the point where the nanotech idea is so oversaturated, it isn't a novelty anymore. Stuff as cool as nanotech shouldn't be the norm. We shouldn't be desensitized to it. Like in the Suicide Squad, you know why Bloodsport shooting at Starro with his transforming gun was cool? Because literally no other character in that movie has that ability. Not many characters in the DC movies have an ability like that. Meanwhile, in Endgame, it makes sense that everyone has Ant-Man's helmet and Iron Man's nanotech. It's a group endeavor to stop stop Thanos, but past that, why the hell is nanotech still a constant thing? You can give me all the reasoning, I'll give you 2 answers. The first one is, it doesn't matter if logically these heroes now should have access to nanotech. Like, just forget about it. Just be like, hey, that's not the hero's deal. They're not a nanotech guy. That's literally it. If in Far From Home, if Peter just randomly didn't have the Iron Spider suit anymore, I'd be like, oh, okay, so we're done with that. All right, easy clap. We're not doing that anymore. That's fine. I don't care if between movies, Andrew Peter just randomly got a new suit. Like, that doesn't need to be explained to me. It can just happen. It's fine. The second answer, as we all know, Marvel fucking sucks at cementing ideas. If you have a chair at the brown table, you're a subscriber, you already know, you've heard this before. The MCU's shoddy CGI is a thing because they not only don't have enough time to cook, but they leave shit to the last minute either way. They like to keep their options open, and that screws over CG and VFX artists. Like I said in my second VFX video, the Endgame suits, they were still experimenting on those things. Nobody knew for certain what that shit was gonna look like until super late in the game. That's why in promo art and toys and shit, literally no Avenger has the helmet they use in the movie, because they just couldn't decide on what they were gonna do, and I'm fairly certain this is the case. Worse, you know why MCU movies are lit like ass? That's because they want to, again, keep their options open and have the ability to change shit last minute. And because of that, the lighting has to stay relatively neutral just in case the lighting or the set has to be changed. So nothing ever looks particularly striking. And because of Marvel's indecisiveness, I believe they're also indecisive as to whether or not they want suits to appear or not, helmets to appear or not. So instead of having a whole suit up sequence where the specificity of the suit and like how it's placed and everything and what it looks like matters, the story is written so they don't have to deal with something like that. Characters can just go pop. The suit is magically on and it can be whatever we want it to be. Let's go. And whoa, you still don't believe me on Marvel's indecisiveness? Okay, let me tell you something. They rewrote the ending to Quantumania and reshot it a month before the movie came out. Anyways, yes, a nitpick, but I want Nanotech to be cool again. I want characters to take off their helmets and have that be a whole thing. I want transformation sequences again. So please, bring back real helmets. Thank you. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching the video. Again, make sure to check out Interstellar Ranger Commenced, Browntable's original animated series. Episodes 1 and 2 are on the channel now. Thanks so much, It's So Cluey, for this fan art of Hope Griffin from Interstellar Ranger Commenced. Really love the pose, the lighting is really dynamic, it looks awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, patrons, for supporting the channel as well. Your support means everything to me, and I would gladly binge watch Korean dramas with you. Now remember to subscribe and turn on notifications to get a chair at the brown table. Once you get a chair, you have a permanent seat at the brown table, which means that you will all be granted Nanotech suits. You don't like Nanotech? Too bad. Now I like it. Fuck you. Thanks so much everyone for coming to the table, and I'll see you all next time.